the wildest places on the planet. The athletes who live for the challenge.
I'll stick it, dude.
It's like ultimate fighting with a rock.
You have to get over that primal fear.
From alpine legends
62.
Come on, girl.
to unlikely heroes.
3, 2, 1.
We've brought cameras to the ends of the earth to capture these incredible stories
You try to climb to the center of the universe.
of victory, failure, and perseverance.
It's time to dig deep.
Come on. You want this.
Come on now.
Join the great adventures of our time as they step into the unknown,
Don't fall.
risking it all to achieve the impossible.
It's part insanity and part genius.
I'm good!
Welcome to Real Rock.
Flex Luthor is one of the most notorious routes in North America.
Ali. Nice.
Tommy Caldwell climbed Flex Luthor almost 20 years ago, and it still has not seen a repeat.
This route has such an important place in the climbing history in the US.
When I first put it up, I knew it was the hardest thing I'd done, but I didn't grade it at all. It does give it this mystical aura.
I know a handful of people that have tried it and kind of shied away, and there was very little information about the route.
I heard that Maddie was climbing on it. I was super excited. I always wanted somebody to come back and try and repeat it.
Maddie is one of the most humble people that I know.
He's so low key, but such a crusher. One of the best climbers in the country.
Nice.
Most of the time, he's so relaxed about everything.
But with Flex, this is the most challenging and frustrating climbing I've ever experienced.
Come on, babe. It's okay.
It really started to get to me.
Stay calm, babe.
Another day, another failure. I haven't counted how many days I've spent up here. Kind of lost count.
It's been a year of my life that I didn't think about anything else besides Flex.
Ah, man. It's like the pumpiest goddamn climbing I've ever done. Smile, come on.
I don't normally smile when I'm making oatmeal.
Margot and Maddie, they're this badass climbing couple. They're so good, they're so well trained, they're so smart, they seem to be happy all the time.
Maddie and I both grew up in Colorado, and both of us have climbed a lot and Rifle.
Rifle is the center of the sport climbing scene here in Colorado. You drive into this narrow canyon that just has hundreds and hundreds of routes. I mean, it's super convenient. You're climbing roadside and you get down and your car is 5 feet away from you. It can get crowded sometimes, but it's really a strong community. I remember being in Rifle as a kid, swinging around on ropes. I was raised in a family of climbers, and I would go to Rifle on the weekends with my parents. I climbed my first 512, my first 13A, my first 14A, 14B, 14C. Every new grade in my life, they all happened there. So Rifle is where I became a climber. But eventually it was time to take the next step. The Fortress of Solitude is this amazing, massive limestone cave, home of two of the most famous routes in North America, Kryptonite and Flex Luthor.
The Fortress is close to Rifle, yet it's so drastically different.
It's 30 minutes from Rifle, but basically no one goes there. It's not roadside like Rifle, it's actually an hour-long hike. Pretty brutal.
For a sport crag, the Fortress is as remote and wild as it comes.
It's a little overwhelming and intimidating at first.
Kryptonite, it's right there.
Everything's just a bigger scale.
Where's it at?
It was the legendary Tommy Caldwell who put the Fortress on the map by establishing Kryptonite in 2001 and then Flex Luthor in 2003.
I first started climbing at the Fortress when I was like 17 or something. There was rumors about this cave east of Rifle up in the hills. We went bushwhacking up this horribly eroding hillside, and it was like the biggest cave I'd ever seen. There was not a single route there yet, and we're like, this is the future, this place is amazing. I was like, oh, let's bolt one of the less extreme looking parts of the wall, and I thought it was gonna be like a warm up, but that ended up being Kryptonite, 14 plus. Kryptonite took me, a season or something, and it was the hardest thing I'd done, but it obviously wasn't gonna be the hardest route at the crag. And so I started working on the route right out the biggest, steepest part. But then just all these epics happened in my life. I cut my finger off, and I came out of the hospital so angstful that I wasn't gonna be able to be a professional climber anymore that I made it my goal to try and climb Flex Luthor. I was like, if I could do this, I'll be proving to myself that I can still be like a good climber. Worked on it through the winter, post-holing through knee-deep snow a lot to get up there. Getting closer and closer and just like fighting that fight and feeling all those emotions. I finally sent it. But since I had just chopped off my finger, I didn't know how hard it was. So I just said it's harder than Kryptonite, and I left it at that. Climbing Magazine wrote an article that said the crag of the future. I figured that the Fortress was gonna get more popular, but I think it's just a little bit too blue collar. I mean, it turns out that most sport climbers don't really like to suffer that hard. They don't want to hike, they don't want to get sunburned, they don't want to post hole through snow. And that probably turned people off to it for, 20 years?
When we first started going up there, it was actually because Margot wanted to try Kryptonite.
The hike is the hardest part of any route up there, to be honest. It is definitely an adventure, but once you actually get up there, it's beautiful. You're there in solitude. It's just you and the peregrines and, potentially mountain lions somewhere. I had always wanted to try Kryptonite. I've always been attracted to routes that have history, and I had known the story behind it with Tommy. I think why I always come back to trying hard sport routes is the fact that I love the movement. It's cool learning a sequence and then perfecting it. You become so intimate with a route that it's a beautiful experience.
All right. Come on. Yeah.
Good job!
Nice job.
Going up there with Margot, watching her climb on Kryptonite and seeing how basically effortlessly she did that route, I couldn't help myself but start thinking about Flex Luthor. It's always been like in the back of my head, one of the sickest, steepest lines that hasn't seen a repeat. Little did Margot know that once she said Kryptonite, she'd have to hike up there another 20 times.
Struggling my way up here.
Trying to capture the struggle.
Capture Maddie's struggle.
Feel good today.
Yeah, right, dude.
When I first started trying Flex Luthor, I had very little information. I reached out to Tommy, but every time it was just like, oh man, sorry, it was so long ago. Just like crickets.
We're on.
I knew that over the years, a couple people had tried it, but no one really made it to the top. People thought the grade was probably 515A, but I had heard of broken holds, so I really didn't know what to expect.
Take.
Most of the time on a sport climb, I can do the moves in 1 or 2 sessions.
Okay, take again.
And with Flex, it was weeks before I could even visualize the sequences.
God, why does it feel so bad?
Hanging on the quick draws, trying to figure out what the hell to do. The other routes I've climbed of this caliber have been way more straightforward. I probably broke off 20, 25 holds.
Oh, that hurt.
A lot of those were small footholds or hand holds that Tommy probably didn't even use. But some of the route I think has changed quite significantly since Tommy did it. And it's probably gotten harder. I think when Tommy was climbing at the Fortress, he had this ethic of cleaning a route only with like a toothbrush. Only anything that he could break with like his fingers. Nowadays, the more modern ethic is you put a little more effort into it and try to remove the bigger features that could hurt someone or they could break off in a couple years. So it took time, and it was just a part of my process, cleaning it and deciphering the route.
I heard that Maddie got excited about the route and saw it as like this mystery that needed to be solved. That was cool.
There's hard moves the second you pull off the ground. It starts with this steep, uncomfortable, awkward crack. Really physical and burly, and it just gets your entire body drained in 4 bolts of climbing. You're plugging in knee bars and just getting quick little shakes, really trying to conserve energy. The most difficult section is 35 feet up the wall.
Okay, take.
It took me days and days trying to figure out this cryptic beta.
Readjust on the right hand. Do this massive cross.
You put in a left knee bar, you make a really uncomfortable clip, grab a right hand side pull. It's a tight position, so you feel like you're gonna explode from the wall. Lever up on your knee and cross to this pinch. I had always just heard of the pinch. Like no one can figure out how to climb around this pinch. It's probably V13. Some of the most unique movements I've ever done on a sport climb. It took me 2 seasons to just get through that lower section.
Fuck.
We went up there so many times, sometimes in rain or snow.
It's really cold today.
That's it, you warm up?
That's about all you get here.
Time to try.
There's so many things about that crag that make it so much less user-friendly than rifle. In the summer, it's baking hot in the sun. In the winter, you gotta hike through snow. I think you kind of need somebody that actually loves you to be willing to sacrifice that much to help you send.
Nice, babe. Come on. This one is quite the project. I'm proud of him for taking it on.
The route just has boulder problem stacked on top of boulder problem from start to finish. No! The upper section is really involved.
Nice. Come on.
So many different places that you could fall,
Ali.
which I did. The last sequence is the hardest red point crux ever. You're grabbing these skinny pinches that make your elbows just instantly stick up straight in the air.
So, how's it feel?
Feels amazing. Probably do it next try. If not next try, then next year. If not next year, then
let the machine tell them you're not home now. They can leave a message at the beep, but in your heart you know there is no promise that you'll get back to them. There's just no time. There's just no time. There are stones that twist and float above us, pulling fruit and flowers from the earth. But we would rather work late than to rest in that, 'cause it feels natural to just freak out. Then you pick up the phone, you say you're sorry for not answering sooner. You're always letting people down. At least that's what you think. Man was not created for this excess, but I'm still trying to make the pieces fit. 2 weeks drunk, then 2 weeks stone cold sober, 'cause I feel better when it's all or none. Then I pick up the phone, I say I'm sorry for not answering sooner. I'm always letting people down. When will this puzzle end? I've got the corners, but my dog chewed up the rest. When will this feel like home? 'Cause I've been patient, but I'm growing concerned. We'll all be anxious for a while. At least that's what I think.
I climbed the bottom section of the route almost without any mistakes. And I remember like getting up into those last two holes at the very end of the climb. My elbows didn't quite go up like they had in the past. Feeling really in control. You stick the jug. Feeling this surge. It's I don't know, it's like, it's the best.
For Maddie to do this route is such a huge deal. I could just tell when he got to the top that it was one of the biggest moments in his climbing, and it was cool to witness.
Thanks for coming up here with me all those times.
I mean, there were definitely times when I did not want to go up there, but it's cool to be part of the process.
It's been